My name's Drew Henley. I'm from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and you're watching UpState 208. Not a bad place to be today. Fresh snow, sun shining, going hunting.
I grew up down an old dirt road in a town you wouldn't know. My pops picked the place up for $1,500 back in 1964. My grandfather was a drinker back in the day.
All right, I just made it up to camp, and it is looking good up here. I saw a bunch of elk sign on the way in. It's fresh snow on the road. I saw a wolf track, and I saw 3 different sets of a single elk track walking down the road, which I'm hoping means bull. And then I saw a bunch of scuttlebutt just down the road, actually, too, where it looked like there was probably a small herd, maybe a couple cows. Hard to tell, but there was a lot of action going on, so things are looking good. There's a couple different access points. We got one back here behind us where I've got the side-by-side parked, and we're going to set up a small camp there. And then back behind me, man, that mustache is looking good. Man, looks good. Super stoked, guys. It's going to be awesome. Alright, guys. It's about 7:30 in the morning, and I just hiked a couple miles in from our camp along the top of a ridge, and then I went down off the top of the ridge to a couple of clear cuts, and I'm sitting right on top of a clear cut right now. There's tons of sign all over the place. So they're up here. I jumped a moose and her calf on my way down. I bet you I was 15 or 20 feet away from that cow moose when I spooked her. Needless to say, it spooked me too. I don't have a moose tag. I'm gonna hunker down below me a little bit. Just hang out for a while and see what happens around here. It's kind of foggy, so you can't see very far. Well, we're out here in God's country, just loving it. It's cold out today, so I'm hoping maybe the elky want to get a little sunshine, do a little sunning. Day 2. I'm sitting in an old burn area right now. This is a drainage that runs down. There's a creek in the bottom of this. My buddy spooked a herd of elk up here yesterday morning. And they dove down off of this, so there's a ton of traffic areas all across this area that I'm at. I think they're coming back up in the afternoon. After they go down and get water in the morning, I think they're coming up here to stay away from everything. Except for me, because I'm waiting for them. Saw another moose about 30 minutes ago when I was walking down in here. I've seen like 4 moose. I need to draw for a dadgum moose tag, apparently. Well, I just saw a big ass bull elk. I think it was a 6x6. I found this sweet spot you can see back here behind me. And I just got up to this little rock point. And he stepped out about 100 yards up above me, and I blasted a shot off. And I thought I missed him, but he was flinching and doing weird stuff. And I found some blood. So I got him. There's a pretty big splatter all around me here, so he's definitely hit. I'm gonna give him a second to chill out, so he doesn't just run ragged all over the place. So I'm gonna just chill, even though I don't want to. Oh, what a day. What a day. I found a beautiful spot. It's like 10 in the morning, maybe. Maybe it's like 8, I don't even know right now, but beautiful rock outcropping. I was gonna just hunker down there for the day. And this little guy showed up. Look at this, we got him. Thanks, buddy. He's a big boy, 5x5. Popped right out above me on the rock outcropping. And he was on the move, so I cow called him real quick and he stopped. And I was just lucky through the trees I could get one off. And it looks like I got him right through the neck. And so as bad as I wanted to go running after him, he was flinching and being weird. And he ran up over the hill, and I just hunkered down. I went up to where I shot him at, and there was pretty decent amount of blood there, so I knew that something was going on. So I just hung out for a little bit, and was patient. I gave it like 5 or 10 minutes, and I started following the wrong tracks, and there was no blood, and I'm like, what is going on? And I was about 20 or 30 yards below where he had cut, and I looked up in the trees and saw where he had crossed over a log, and it was covered in blood, and I was like, oh, I am on the wrong spot. And I'm sitting about 50 yards down the hill from that, so my first ever elk, you guys. It is not easy. Unbelievable day. I can't believe I did it. I'm super stoked. I've got cell phone service where I'm at, believe it or not, and so one of my buddies is way up above me, and he has his cell phone on right now too, so I sent him a text. I screenshotted my Onyx location and texted that to him, so I'm thinking that him and my other buddy may make their way down here to help me. Unfortunately, it's one of those shots where I'm in a bad spot as far as where camp is and where we're at. It's it's either down a long ways or up a long ways, and so it is what it is, but elk down, we're going to deal with it. Stoked. Here we are. What a day. Mr. Stone's just whittling away on stuff over here. Making good progress. About half of her down.
Not loaded out yet.
We're not out yet, but it gives oh, what a day. Sweet. Look at that thing. Alright. I'm packing out. Thomas and I are on the last hoorah. This all started at about 9:30 this morning, I believe. And it's about 6:30 now. And we still got some trekking to do to get the rest of this guy off the mountain. Thankful for buddies like Thomas Stone right now. Alright guys, loading up. Got a good looking, the back of the truck looks real good right now. This is what you want it to look like after elk season. A big rack, 400 pounds of meat. We are driving out of the mountains right now after 2019 elk season rifle. 3 years. This season would be 3 years of me actively pursuing bull elk in North Idaho, and I just wanted to talk about how what that's looked like for me. So we have camped out from opening day, which is always on a Thursday morning, through Sunday, for the bulk of our outings of hunting. And so we've gone out as far as we could go to areas that we've scouted and kind of researched and that we know to be elky areas, and have spent 4 days running around all over the mountains around us trying to find elk. And this year, that elk I got after 3 years of running around in the mountains, that's the first bull elk I have seen in North Idaho. So I guess my point here is if you're a hunter, if you've been out hunting and putting in the work and walking a lot and just trying hard to find those elk and haven't, I would say to not be discouraged and just keep going. And I know that the last couple years after this same drive coming out, it was just like, man, what is going on? Like, didn't even see elk. I mean, I've heard them. We've been close to them, seen cows, heard them bugling, within a short distance from us. But one thing about the terrain up here in North Idaho is that it is steep and it is dense forest, and it is not easy to navigate that terrain quietly. It's not easy to navigate it quickly. It just is difficult to get through that stuff, to get to terrain. So the other thing about this area is there's a tremendous amount of access and hunting activity all over this area, which can be good and bad. But it's a really difficult area to elk hunt. And if you look at the numbers from the Fish and Game, in the unit that I got this elk, the amount of tags pulled is I think it's close to 4,000 elk tags are pulled. And out of those 4,000 tags, I think the numbers hover between 350 to 450 bull elk that are harvested. And so, I mean, that's a pretty slim chance. And there's elk all over the place out here. It's just hard to find them. And even if you find them and that they're right down the mountain, right down there, sometimes you don't see them, or you can't get to them without, they don't necessarily walk right up to where you're at, which may be in a clear cut or an area where you actually have some visibility. So not only is it a matter of finding out where they are, but once you've found them and you're honed in on where they are, the chances of getting a shot off on one are also slim, just because of the terrain and the chances that you're going to have that bull elk step out into a spot where you can see between the trees enough to get them down. So long story short, it's extremely difficult, and I feel very blessed and thankful to have harvested a bull. Elk season in the books. This is Drew Henley. You're watching UpState 208.